Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. I am here to recap the month of April. If you didn't already know, I have been uploading every day on Instagram and TikTok. I'll have both of those links in the description if you want to follow along and see our posts every single day. Otherwise, on YouTube, as you guys have been seeing, we have been uploading monthly to recap the prior month. This month is going to be a little bit different. Of course, I do want to talk about the mortgage and what updates we made in the month of April. But I feel like I haven't had a vulnerable post in a while, and I'm feeling a little vulnerable, I guess you could say. So just, I definitely created this YouTube channel to document our mortgage payoff journey. And I feel like sometimes there's more to our journey than the numbers, but I obviously do want to start with the mortgage. So in the month of April, we started our mortgage payoff journey at $78,594. That's where our balance started at. In April, we paid $4,500, $196.42 went to interest, everything else went to principal, and we ended April at $74,291. So a lot of progress on the mortgage. We're at this point now where we're really just continuing to be steady and consistent and trying to get to the finish line. That's where we're at. We've done all the hard things as far as like our budgeting and changing our mindset and making sure that we're spending intentionally. Every 2 weeks when we get paid, we automatically have $200 go to a separate account for our spending money. We budget the rest of our money completely separate. So I just feel like we're at a point where as far as financially, we definitely have a good head on our shoulders. We know exactly what we need to do every single time we get paid. So I don't want to say that part's easy, but that part, it's just mindless almost. We just do whatever we need to do. Every time we get paid, we automatically schedule that payment. That's taken care of. We just do the same thing every single time. You might say it's a little boring, honestly, but there's a lot that goes into it. Of course, we have kids. We both work a job. So I've talked about my job before in my work struggles that I've had, and I've talked about this a little bit on Instagram, but of course, I'm gonna get into a lot more detail here. It's been a good year now since I've really felt fulfillment at my job and I've really felt happy at my job. It's very unfortunate, honestly. I think because I have been working with this company for a very long time. This is my 9th year. This is the longest I've ever worked at any job. It's been a whirlwind. I feel like when I started at this company, I was almost, you could say I was still a kid. I'm gonna try not to cry in this video. I've learned a lot about myself. I've grown up. I've gotten married since working there. I've had kids. I've learned about the corporate world. I've learned so much about it. And I've always felt like the company that I've worked for has been different. And I didn't really learn about corporate and how harsh the corporate world could be until much later. I feel like this is something that's really just starting to get talked about here within the past 3 to 5 years. I feel like the company that I've worked for has been different in a sense of I felt like it's always been a great company. And honestly, I'm still at that point. I still feel like it's a great company. They do so much for their employees. I feel like I obviously got to witness that a lot more when we were working in the building. Our PTO is so generous. Our health insurance is affordable. Even within the past, I want to say 4 years or so, our maternity leave has been so competitive. It used to be 8 weeks and they doubled it. It's 16 weeks. When I had my youngest child over 3 years ago, I was on maternity leave for, 4 months. So it's a great company overall. I was in this one position and then I ended up moving to a lesser role to try to help my mental health and things like that. And sure, it helped a little bit. It probably took me from a 90% to a 75, but I am still very much struggling. And I feel like now where I'm at with it is it's no longer just the work I do that's not bringing me joy. It's also it almost feels like working in general. And I feel like maybe if I could go part-time at my job, it would help a lot. It's hard that I don't have I feel like there's just not a whole lot of a balance, especially when you have kids in a 2 working person household. Like, I even read something that it's like when we created the 40-hour work week, most people were one person working, the other person not, like taking care of the household and the kids and stuff like that. And obviously that's not the case for a lot of families these days. It's two parents working 40 hours a week, barely getting things done, cramming everything into the weekend on the 2 days that you have off. And then even when you get off of work during the week, it's just like you barely have any time to yourself. And I think that's getting burnt out from work. While I'm still in the thick of it, I feel like it's also been such a learning opportunity for me because like it's opened my eyes. I've always been a workaholic. Like even people who've been around for, you know, even a year know that over the summer I like did this overtime challenge that I like challenged myself to, working like 15 hours of overtime a week. Just thinking about that now, I actually stopped working overtime in October, and I honestly just can't imagine forcing myself to work that much overtime. And while my wit's end was like around July, to believe that I even took 2 more full months of working overtime is crazy, because I was just, it was terrible. I was going through so much. It was just very dark. And I finally had enough in October, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't keep working extra. I'm already not happy. So I'm very proud of myself for taking that leap and doing that, because I honestly just can't imagine, like, especially with where I'm at right now, working more than I have to is not something that I want to do on any level. Anyway, it's opened my eyes. I'm thankful at the same time, even though things have been so hard. Like, I really can't even explain or put into words how hard it's been. It's been really hard. I feel like it's something that everyone needs to have, like, wake up inside of them, that the way of life is not working. I truly don't know if anyone can relate to like how I was with working like so much and being a workaholic and seeing nothing wrong with it, and almost feeling like you even find your purpose at work, which is crazy. If you have felt that way, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Like, if you are still in that, maybe you don't, but if you have had that workaholic mentality and then finally you just had a flip switch where it opened your eyes to working not being the way of life, and it's actually not anything more than your job, basically. Like, it's a place where you go to make money and then leave. And I did not used to feel like that. I would let things that happened at work bother me and spill over into my evening, like take it home with me, basically. And I'm just glad that my eyes were open to realize like that's not all life is. And like using all my PTO, like every single year, planning to use it all. Granted, my job did used to like pay out the PTO that we did not use, and I stopped doing that. So I would try to use my PTO more after that. But yeah, sometimes I would like roll it over into the next year, but now I'm just doing everything I can to take all PTO throughout the entire year. Anyway, that's just something I've just been struggling with. I feel like if I had more of a balance with work, maybe it would be more manageable for me. Like not working 40 hours a week and having no time to myself, basically. So yeah, more of a balance is needed. Realistically, what's probably going to end up happening is me sticking it out until the house is paid off next year. And I had to remind myself, while 16 months from now feels so far away, really it isn't as far away as it feels. Like, I know that I can make it. I'm really just going to tough it out and just keep the end goal in mind, because in order to accomplish this goal and pay the house off in 16 months, it's so important that we have the same amount of income. Granted, that actually brings me to another topic. I, would love to make money elsewhere, and I did in the month of April, because not only did I finally get monetized on some type of platform online, I've actually, full transparency, have been having this YouTube channel for a year and a half. I'm not monetized on this channel at all. Obviously, it's not why I started it, but it's something that of course would help. The issue that I run into, a lot of people think that it's just 1,000 subscribers that's needed to get monetized on YouTube, but you also need 4,000 watch hours. And I am like at least 1,300 hours away from that. So while we have enough subscribers, and if we had all our subscribers watch our videos, we probably would get there. I do have now, as I'm filming this, 42,000 followers on Instagram. I try to push, you know, create traffic to this channel, and it seems like the interest just isn't there. But anyway, the point is that now I'm officially monetized on TikTok. So super thankful for that. But at the end of the day, it is, I mean, as of right now, not making a whole lot of money on there. It's an opportunity. And then I kind of had posted a clip of how I was feeling after work one day, just feeling burnt out and tired mentally. Posted about that on Instagram. My Instagram friends said that I should try to monetize, you know, what I'm passionate about: budgeting, paying off debt, paying off a mortgage. Anyway, I had already known about something called a Stan store, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically helps creators monetize their following. So you can make digital products and put stuff like that on there. So I did. I put a budget template on there and began selling that, and then putting the link in my bio of my Instagram and TikTok. Very thankful for doing that. I started April 27th, and within 4 days, the remaining in April, I made $150. Amazing. Great, right? Wrong, because unfortunately I had a security issue with Stan store, so I had it open all of 9 to 10 days, and I ended up grossing $326 on there, which is amazing. The security concern was not worth the risk, so I had to close the store. After cashing out all the money and the fees that were associated with cashing out the money, I ended up being left with $288. So thankful for that, and honestly, it hurts that I couldn't keep it going, because I probably got really ahead of myself, but I really was just feeling like this is, you know, gonna be it. Like, I can, even though I'm starting out small and I haven't made a whole lot in the beginning, I could eventually, hopefully, make enough money and put enough stuff on there. Like, I was doing financial audits and everything for my friends on Instagram. Some people have talked about other platforms, like trying Etsy and things like that. Maybe in the future. Right now, I kind of just feel like I just want to kind of sit with it right now. Like, you know, it's just something that I'm not really in a rush to go start up something someplace else. Anyway, so right now, the only place that I am making money from is TikTok, outside of my normal job, obviously. So, you know, the potential's there. I'm hoping that it can be something where eventually I can make much more money on it. Not holding my breath right now. Another thing I did do in April actually was I did get interviewed by someone who was making a article about like people paying off their house, I guess. And so once I get the link and once it's up and posted, I'll definitely share it with you guys. That was something cool. I was joking around with my husband in April a lot about like how people just get interviewed on Good Morning America for like things that, for anything, honestly. And I feel like what I'm doing and like trying to pay off our house is so good that I'm just like, they need to interview me. And then I had someone reach out about that. So I just thought it was kind of ironic. And, you know, you just never know where this world will take you, what opportunities could arise. So I definitely hope that I can continue to have opportunities. Obviously, that was something that I just did. It wasn't paid or anything like that. But I just hope that someday I can look back on this video and remember how I am feeling today and feel so thankful that it was something that I got past. Because I know when I had posted that other video back in July, just feeling like I was just so done and just feeling like I finally was fed up enough to acknowledge that there was a problem and I wasn't feeling joy in my job anymore. I remember in that time specifically saying something like, I hope that in 30 days I can be in a different position and I can be looking back on this and just feeling like this is something I went through. And if I would have known that here I am 10 months later feeling almost the exact same way I felt in that video, but a little tiny bit better, like, I don't know what I would have thought in that moment. Because the talk has come up with me and my husband about, you know, pausing this journey or postponing it, or just taking the progress that we've made and sitting with it, in the sense of now our mortgage is set to be paid off in 2030 as of today, like all the progress that we've made. And, you know, we'd still be able to pay extra if I, say for example, wasn't working. Not as much extra, not paying it off by next year. He's seen me at some of my hard days over the course of the last 9 months or so. And so, yeah, he wants the best for me, and he's talked about, you know, if I had to not work and what that would look like. But I want to pay off this house next year more than anything. Like, it's something that I've been working so hard for a long time. And I don't want to throw in the towel. I want to finish what we started. I feel like a huge weight is going to be lifted off of my shoulders when we pay off this house next year, and I don't want anything to get in the way of that. Like, I want that. That's what I want more than anything. Whether or not we're paying extra on this mortgage, I would still be working at this job. So granted, yes, the mortgage payoff journey, it is really keeping me there, or either keeping me working full time. It is. But that's what I really want more than anything, is just to pay off this house. And so I really just want to stick with it, take advantage of my PTO. Right now I get 5 weeks of PTO a year. So it's spread out. I'm scheduled to take time off like a little bit every single month. And I feel like it gave me a little bit more of encouragement, you know, this past week, knowing that, you know, every single day I work, I'm a day closer to the finish line. And it's, you know, whenever we made this goal to pay off this house early, like within 5 years, something like, you know, you think about, you know, what would stop you from getting to your goal. A lot of times it's things like, you know, you think about the possibility like of someone getting laid off. Anything could happen. You just think about the possibilities, like what would stop me from getting to this goal? Like, you just think about all avenues, obviously. Even when we closed on this house, the thought of like work burnout or not feeling fulfillment in your job, not feeling joy, not aligning with what you do, that was the furthest from my mind. I never would have expected that in 2020 when we closed. Trying very hard. Every day I'm trying really hard to keep going. So many places are hybrid or going back to the office, and like when you have a fully remote job, you're gonna hold on to that so tight because you're so grateful, so thankful to work from home. Like, understand that I'm so grateful for that. I don't know where I would be right now if I didn't. But yeah, that's what makes it tough. I know also that my feelings are valid and it's okay to not be okay. So that's where I've been lately mentally. Just overall, I've been feeling not okay. Giving myself something to look forward to as far as when the house is paid off. Something has to change with my work environment. It gives me something new to look forward to. Just knowing that, you know, hold on, change is coming. Like, once that time comes, like, we're going to do something different. Not super religious, but definitely have spent a lot of days praying in the past 9 months, begging, praying for something to change. And so eventually you just give up on that. And also, it's just like the same with how I've been like trying to apply to different positions within my company for 9 months, 15 applications. Eventually you just start to feel like a clown to keep applying to places that I don't know what the issue is. I feel like our system is flawed at my job with trying to like get a new position, because it doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, where I'm at now as I'm filming this, obviously it's May, and I just feel like I'm at the point now where working in a different position wouldn't solve my problem anymore. Like, I tried to apply someplace else for a really long time and I didn't get it. And so now where I'm at is like, I don't even want to work in a different position, I don't think. I just want a better balance at least. Like, sure, I'd love in a perfect world to not work at all. That's how I am feeling right now. I'd like to just like take a year off, or like a year or two, circle back, see how I'm feeling, try to go back to it again to say, you know, can I find something that I am passionate about or that does bring me joy? I hope that one day I could speak freely on like more specifics on the things that have really been bothering me with my job. Other things that I feel like it's really opened my eyes to is just not doing more than you're required to do at work. Like, and I know that everybody might not agree with that, but that's just the truth. Like, I just shouldn't have to do certain things, basically. Since my manager and I, we speak a little bit more now on better terms, I decided to open up to her how it's just been really hard to clock in every day to a job that you don't feel joy, like you don't have enjoyment with what you're doing. I told her, kind of opened up to her about some of the applications that I've been putting in for a while, and how one in particular I was really excited about, and I applied to that specific one 3 times and like nothing. And so she was saying she wanted to reach out to that manager, I guess, to just try to like put the word out, which I've already done. And I told her that. But anyway, she reached out to them. The manager reached back out to her and just told her like it was a very competitive spot to get. And just basically, they didn't know who it was, who she was reaching out about. But like I said, I've already reached out to this manager. And so the manager just kind of said, like, gave some pointers, I guess, like, take on additional responsibilities, and then your manager, the department manager, might recommend you for certain roles. And then she like forwarded me the email, but then also sent me like some of what they said, which it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, one thing I really struggle with is like a manager that's too corporate and isn't realistic, or can't take off the mask to connect with you on a human level, even if it's through email. Like, that's just hard for me. And so when she then restated some of the things that he said, like I said, he didn't know who she was talking about, but she knows it's me and how burnt out I am and all these things. And then she repeats what he says, like, but adds to it: continue to be positive in your role and take on additional responsibilities because of this and that. And okay, being positive, I can see you saying that, but additional responsibilities that I've already explained to you that I actually don't want to take on any additional responsibilities outside of my actual job, because like, what do you want me to do? Kiss ass up to the top? I'm not doing that. Like, I'm over it. I'm over everything. The last thing I want to do is sign up for more responsibilities to get you to put a good word in for another role. I already don't even care anymore about another role. That's not solving my issue anymore. That's not going to bring me joy anymore. It really isn't. So that's where I am. It's like you try to open up to someone and get them to really just better understand you and where you're coming from, and then they kind of just throw the book at you, or they just like are just so like corporate about it. That's just the best word I can really use to describe it. Like connect with me on a human level. Treat me like I'm not just your agent. Like, I'm actually someone that you care about. My job does these like surveys every year. I always participate in them, but this year specifically, after they kept bothering us about, oh, we want 100% participation on the surveys on our team. Like, everybody participate. I was planning to anyway, because I feel like I'm so over it at work that what do I have to lose but to tell you how I really feel about everything, and it's anonymous. But this time, they're sending the results of the survey to our direct manager, like our team's manager. There's probably about 15 people on our team, and you're sending it to our direct manager, who has one-on-ones with us, knows who probably said what. It's just like, oh my gosh, like before, when I felt like I had nothing else to lose but to just like dump in this survey, because it's probably going to go to this random team who doesn't know who I am because I work for such a big company. No, that's not what they do. They decide to send it right to your manager. And it's just silly. And it's just like, I mean, eventually it might get to some random team who's going to maybe try to take action. But my manager said there's been multiple people who've reported on the survey that they try to apply other places and they don't get it. So, hey, hopefully they'll take that feedback. But I feel like I'm already checked out at this point. It doesn't matter anymore if you guys fix this issue, because I'm checked out. I mean, it's good for somebody else who isn't checked out. In probably 2 months, they're going to be checked out. I might never do a survey again. I might never do one again, even though it's just been something that's just been like an annual thing. For what? You know, it kind of reminds me of like voting in a way. I just, lately it's been a little hard for me, honestly. Another thing, as far as like how I am with friends, sometimes, you talk to your friends about stuff like this. I don't have too many. I had one I was getting really close to, and I just thought like we were really connecting. But I'm different, because I just get jealous sometimes of like my friends with other people. And I don't feel like anyone should judge me for this. That's just how I am. Like we were just so close for a little while. It makes me a little sad because I'm just kind of like feeling like a disconnect now. I truly wonder if ever in my life I will have like a friend that like me and her are just really locked in together. Like almost like a sisterhood, I guess. I guess that's kind of like when I think of like a best friend, I think of more of like a sisterhood. Like we're just so connected and like you're my person and I'm yours, you know? But I just run into that with like friends sometimes that I actually really care about like a lot. It's hard because it's like I want to be their friend and I really want us to be just like, but they just have so many other friends and I've never been the type to have like so many strong connections. Like I'm just like a one-on-one type of gal. I was feeling really connected with that person and I feel the disconnect and I feel us drifting apart. It's a little sad, but at the same time, I know that it's really just me protecting my peace. It causes disruption, I guess you could say. It starts to make me feel a little disrupted is the best way I can describe it. But sometimes I wonder if I'll ever have someone who's like on the same page as me. Not that I'm like so yearning for it. I'm really busy. I'm a mom. I have a wife. I spend a lot of time at home. Like I don't go out and I don't want to go out anyway. Once a month, maybe we go out to Chipotle. I think I'm just at this phase of my life where I'm just like, I wonder what the future holds as far as like my job, like connections with people, like transitioning, like any other things. Like, is there other things I could do to make money? Like, can I be passionate about something? Like something that I have to do every day, like working. Like, can I feel passion? Can I feel strongly? Can I feel happy about it? One thing that does bring me joy, I do just like to stay home and sit at home and relax. I'm kind of just at this phase this weekend where I just want to like relax. And tomorrow's Mother's Day. Probably just gonna kind of stay home, but to any mothers watching this, happy Mother's Day. I feel like I've been seeing things lately online where it's like Mother's Day, yes, you know, older people are mothers, but it's like when you're in the trenches of motherhood, which I feel like that's where I'm at right now with my kids and the age group that they're in, and it's really hard. They fight a lot. We don't get a break. All of that. Like, I just feel like that's what Mother's Day is supposed to be for. And like getting peace or like a break from that. And I remember actually a year ago on Mother's Day, I had like out the house for a little bit, but it's just so temporary. That's one thing that I kind of like I struggle with when I do get out of the house and I get some peace and quiet for a little bit. It's just so temporary. Like, you know, I don't know if anybody can relate to that. Like, I could get out the house for an hour, but I don't really feel like renewed or like refreshed when I come back. And that's what it is right now. It's just us, just me and my husband thugging it, like trying to make it with kids. It's hard. Hence why you saw the last video, my husband got a vasectomy. We've known we've been done with kids for a while. And, you know, obviously we love our kids. We love them so much. They're wonderful. They're blessings. So thankful that they're here. But you also have to know, like, when your time is up and when you're good, like, you don't need any more. So, anyway, this was a little long-winded. If you made it to the end of this video, bless you. And, like, comment potatoes if you made it to the end of this video, because I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for listening to me just vent and just get a lot off my chest. But hey, this is my mortgage payoff journey. This is a part of it right now in month 44. And really since month, what, probably like 33, 30, like it's been rough. But I'm trying to make it, I'm trying to get there to the finish line. I feel like I could just take a huge deep breath. People always ask us, what are you gonna do when the house is paid off? And I wanna say, take a deep breath. Honestly, collapse to the floor, because we just went on vacation. It was more like a mental vacation for a little bit. out of town in March, and I didn't feel like I was missing a whole lot. Like, whether or not we're paying on this extra on this house, if we wanted to go on vacation, we'd still have these kids with us who are exhausting, you know, on vacation. That was exhausting, honestly. So when people tell us, like, we need to go on vacation, you need to do this with your money, you need to do that with your money, you need to do this, this, and that, you're missing out on this, this, and that. I'm not missing out on anything. Whether or not we are paying on this house extra, I would still be in this house, not doing anything, being the homebody that I am, because as long as you have kids, you're very limited in what you could do. We don't have help. Some people have family, grandparents, like aunts, uncles, a village. We do not have that. Luckily, when we went to visit, you know, one reason we don't have that is because my mother-in-law lives in a different state. We got a night, you know, to ourselves, and we got stranded, you know, in a snowstorm. So we got home really late, went to sleep, tried to take some time to ourselves the next day, went back to get them. Anyway, like I said, this is a part of the journey, and it's not easy. You're going to have some hard days, honestly, and that's what I wanted to document today. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in our next video.